It'll leave you broke.
And we're not trying to be starving artists. Shout out to the pioneers that paved the way. But I ain't trying to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be like, yo, man, I'm in the work. I'm in the work. You know, I'm just doing work.
Peace, y'all. This is Stones here from Forbidden Fruit. We're at the Ubuntu Gallery here with our guy,
Steven C.W. Taylor, the time thief.
The time thief, the owner, founder of this glorious gallery. And we're going to get into some questions today. I love how Ubuntu means I am because we are. How does this idea shape your photography and what this gallery is for Germantown?
I think it might have been the first. The first place that I ever went outside the country was to South Africa. I had a really good experience in South Africa that took me back again and then one more time. So I've been there 3 different times along the course of me building my photography, I guess you could say, career. Because the first time I went in 2015, I was just really kind of getting into cameras. I had just picked up a camera in 2014. We're getting into real cameras, you know, once I graduated from my GoPros. And South Africa was one of those early trips. It was a place that I got to start kind of develop what my photography language is, I guess. If you could say that all photographers use the similar and the same tools to speak their own language, if that makes sense, right? And that some people call it styles, I call it, you know, you're just speaking your own little dialect, your own little language with your camera. South Africa helped to build that dialect for me, helped me to build that language. More like, it's not people watch, but just observe my circumstances and my situations and where I'm at. Strange dichotomy of like extreme poverty, but also wealthy people, you know what I'm saying? Like, so very impactful. So over these 3 trips, I'm understanding that this philosophy is deeply embedded within South African people. It's not a holyism. You don't do Ubuntu. It's just part of you. It's part of what you do. It's part of how you go about the world. When I was contemplating opening a gallery, you know, this is Germantown. This West Germantown, which got its own issues, but I'm from East Germantown, which is the trenches, you know what I mean? And within those trenches, it's like, what can I do tangibly? What role can I play? What can my part be? And I figured is to bring this idea through the gallery that exists in West Germantown, but my proximity and frequency to my direct community where I can interact with them every single day on my way to my Ubuntu Fine Art gallery, to introduce them to it, to provide access to it, to invite them to come here to see themselves.
Yeah, hearing that explanation definitely brings everything together on the walls now. You got Africa, I'm assuming, next to the 26. You know, it's like,
right. The hood is right next to it. And if you can't look at that with the same exact eyes, then you're biased against the hood. I don't like that thing. They no different. They 2 landscapes. One is an urban landscape, one is a natural landscape. At least from how I view photography, there's no separation between street photography or travel or landscape photography. Like, you gotta look at them with the same eyes. So you gotta look at my hood as beautiful as you look at Africa.
So you created the first Black-owned single photography artist gallery in the country. What impact do you think that will have on, or already had on, artists in this community?
It's the first single artist fine art photography gallery. By a Black person that I know of. Based on, you know, prior to me opening, I spent about 6 months, mainly through Google, you know, looking for other businesses or entities that claim themselves to be that. Is it fathomable that somebody else did it first? Of course.
Yeah.
Is it noted that somebody else did it first? No, until now. As a person who's not involved in the art world at all, I take pictures, I travel, I'm an engineer, I'm smart, I do all this stuff, but I never considered myself an artist or even touching what the art world is or was. I'm a former software engineer. I took a work trip to Vegas, a tech conference, and I came across the work of Peter Lick. Peter Lick is an Australian photographer who got galleries all across the world. This was in 2017. He had 20 galleries across the world. I'm just experiencing the ones in Las Vegas, right? Of all photography, the most immaculate image smacked me in my face of horses galloping through the sand in France that were printed on acrylic like that. For lack of better words, a Black man from Germantown, Philadelphia, who got experience but ain't never seen no shit like that before in my life. Over this 4-day conference, I might go to this gallery 4 to 5 times. You know, I'm you know, busting it up with the salesperson. They know I'm not buying nothing, but my line of inquiry starts to get more specific. By the time I leave, that image thing that I see, that's a file. oh, Peter Lick is amazing. He this, that, and the third. Again, when you're talking to salespeople, but that's a file. Is that a file? You know, finally, when I get the salesperson to say yes, that's a file, then my camera produces files. If my camera produces file, how you print? How do I get my files to look like that? And this is now Thread or Pandora's box that I'm now starting to pull on in 2017. All of those questions led to the idea I can build this thing. And part of that was, okay, does this thing exist in any other context anywhere else around the country? And the answer I found was no. I want to encourage other artists that, at least in my mind, this is the way that you democratize the art world. We got to stop begging for space. It's the finite commodity of what art is, and we're all fighting to be seen. And I'm advocating for those spaces to be for you, that are yours as your creative, entrepreneurial outlet to do the thing. Is it hard? Absolutely. Is you going to be traveling for the first couple of years? No. But is it worth it? As a way to work into adjacency, how we can build more equity into the art world. Equities are going to be built into the art world by asking the people who deny equity for more equity. Entrepreneurially, we can do whatever we want, however it is that we want to do it. We just have to do it in a way that the industry respects it, right? Now that's building coalitions. Shout out to the Color Girls Museum. You know what I'm saying? Coalitions and spaces that warrant and garner the attention of reputable institutions. Artists who have the capacity to do so should open their own institutions and ideally put them in their underserved communities where they're from.
I think that the idea of having your own space and being in control of that space to direct your art journey is so impactful, because like you said, it's almost like you're on borrowed time, especially when dealing with other galleries or other entities, because typically your art is only up for how long? A month, you know, max,
6 weeks,
6 weeks, whatever, right? When you're in control of that space or in control of what you want to do, where you want it to be, who can see it, it changes everything. So a lot of fine art galleries can be intimidating for people. How do you create an experience that makes everyone feel welcome?
When I was researching the building of space, right? You know, my landlords gave me a white box. Everything else, the energy in the space, I kind of brought with me. One is purpose. So Ubuntu exists to create access point to the arts for my community. This is a hub, a nexus of sorts, but it's built with luxury or high end in mind, but high end that has community at its heart because of where we exist. So it's all of these what seem to be opposing poles to things. Like most luxury spaces don't exist in low income neighborhoods. That's just not the way it goes. Because this is my neighborhood, I take a lot of pride in being here. It was necessary because I could have put the gallery in other places. Old City was a big one that people recommended. Chestnut Hill was a big one that people recommended. Center City was a big one that people recommended because this is where we're used to frequenting the arts in the city of Philadelphia. And this is the only way people know. They say, all right, if you own an art business, then you need to sell the art. People here can't afford it. So how are they going to support your business if they can't afford it? It was never really about that. It was about the experience, the access to experience that people from my community can actually have. Now, I want everybody to collect my work. Absolutely want people to collect my work. And at the same time, the experience of the gallery is to allow you to experience my work while potentially having a conversation with me, just to help you understand why you were able to just walk into this space. You know, why you were able to just, stumble upon, so to speak. The purpose is a little bit different, which allows me, when you walk in, a lot of people say, well, do I pay? Is it a charge? Or the young bulls hit the door, and they like, can I come in? Come on in, young boy. Like, so people don't know. So part of this is access. I'm helping to educate people that in every art space you walk into, especially if you're Black, and especially the higher, nicer neighborhood that is in, you walk in with your chest poked out and your head held high. I don't care what you look like or what you got on. None of that pretense is the art. Art don't exist in pretense. It exists in relativity. Do I like it or do I not like it? Are there some things that speak to me or talk to me? The more I can educate the population that existed within the gallery, especially through like the mural art show, when it's not just photography, when it's not just my work, and you get a different dynamic of work to be able to interact with, take these things and you go ask some more questions with them.
for your experience, as far as you didn't have a place like this, but when you were in Vegas, it took you 4 days to warm up and feel comfortable to start asking the real questions to get to where you are now, right?
For
And now you're establishing that same energy without all the BS you got to get through. You ain't got 4 days to ask me how I did this, or
I'll tell you right now.
Exactly. So it's like really inspiring to see how you had just taken all of your experiences, transmuted them, and now are a living example to inspire the next generation of artists in this neighborhood and beyond. Opening your own gallery, seeing the world, what are some of the milestones you've achieved on this journey?
There are some like notable milestones. So I was part of the Philadelphia Fellowship for Black Artists cohort in 2023.
Congratulations on that.
I was named in 2023 as well. I was named the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists, Visual Journalist of the Year.
Whoa.
My milestones are a little lighter. Like they just mine. They just for me. Like when I first printed on the Japanese washi paper to introduce a body of work of my urban neighborhood of Germantown. This is the East Meets West collection that I'm now printing on handmade Japanese washi paper that I imported from this 400-year-old family-run business in a prefecture in Japan that hand makes this paper that I'm now putting my hood on.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? This dichotomy that just kind of runs through me, similar to Ubuntu, is my fascination with Japanese culture. The artisan practices and the way that you can go about artistry and being an artisan, a craftsman in a deliberate manner. There's no rush. Things do take time, but they take the time that they take to fully express a free idea that's not an idea in pursuit of something, but this an idea of exploration. That body of work was that, like, I'm like, damn, that, like, now I'm an artist. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I have a question. Is it that?
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, I was, bro. So I was looking at them Jones like, the paper looks dope. I was looking like, whoa, like I like the texture, and it feels like it almost tells or gives another layer to the story of the images, just looking at like the different lines and depth within the images.
See? Thank you.
100%, bro.
Thank you, bro.
From one artist to another. I can appreciate
this separation between art and business, and artists can't do the business because it interferes with their creative shit and stuff like that. Correct and bullshit.
Yeah, it'll leave you broke.
And we're not trying to be starving artists. Who in 2025? Now again, we're not in the 80s no more. We're not in the 60s. We're not in the 70s. And shout out to them, to the pioneers that paved the way. But I ain't trying to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be like, yo, man, I'm in the work. I'm in the work, you know, I'm just doing work, and I'm trying to get these people to really like my work, and nobody likes my work, but everybody loves the work. And, you know, it's like, you can market it, you can tell somebody about it, you can post about it, you can do all of the things is incumbent upon any business, any brand to compete in this market that we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? So
you recently put out a call for support for the gallery. What are some ways that people can support Ubuntu, and what is your vision moving forward?
I appreciate that. First off, I want to say thank you to all the people who answered my call for support. Big thank you to all the people who became new collectors of my work. Huge shout out and thank you to the Colored Girls Museum, because they really looked out for me and helped me. As another gallery within the ecosystem, they looked out for me and supported me. So I want to thank people for the support that they've already given me, and encourage people that if you want this beautiful space to remain in existence, then it requires fiduciary support from the community of people that want to see it here. Establish my notoriety and recognizability within the art world by your advocating for this beautiful art that you got of mine, you know? So, and this is how you build the recognition of a living artist. It's not the artists themselves or the brand or the marketing, it's the people who collect the work that take pride in it. First thing you can do is definitely buy my work as a way to support. The gallery is available for rent. You can definitely rent the space itself. I'm looking to create some proposals so I can apply for some grants. If you know of any grants that I can utilize, you know, for this upcoming season, share the things that I'm doing, tap in with how I'm doing, send a donation, tap me into somebody that you might know. A lot of different ways that people can interact with the gallery and actually support it. For the people who have, I am extremely grateful. How much of a flex it would be if you could walk around people and say like, yo, I got a Steven C.W. Taylor, dog. Like, I got me a Steven C.W. Taylor. That's crazy. So
that's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. For the essence of time, is there anything else you would like to share?
Oh man, I've said so much and I still have so much more to say. You know, for Essence of Time, what I will say is I hope to potentially be a guest, you know, rock with y'all again, hopefully collaborate in the future. I really appreciate what y'all do and how y'all do it. Creative wellness brand, I think that's really, really dope.
Thank you.
And the way y'all go about it as a team and y'all show up together for each other, I think it's a tremendous thing, and also inspiring and can be used as an example as how we can take back equity in the things that we want to do and do the things that we want to do and make those things monetarily suitable for the lives that we want to live. So shout out to you. I'm proud of y'all, you know, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
appreciate it, bro. Yeah, good
No,
talk.
shout out Forbidden Fruit, man.
So yeah, thank you everybody for checking in, tapping in. Support Ubuntu Gallery. This was Forbidden Fruit. We'll catch you on the next one.